All right, let's get into the weekly watch report and talk about the things we watched this week. Weekly watch report on Monday. 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 Boom. Lovely. Weekly watch report. Let's get into it. Gonna start off Surviving Barstool. First 3 episodes out last week. We all watched them. I'm in the show, just in case you don't know that. And let me tell you, watching it back now and like seeing the conversations that you're not a part of, like I can't stop watching. And spoilers for the first 3 episodes. I can't stop watching the Jerry elimination where Ryan Whitney has to pretend like he didn't know because Will told him act like you don't know because Big Cat doesn't want you to. The entire thing, I can't stop watching. I'm like, this is so funny to see because like, you know, when you're in your trial, you don't know what's going on with other people. So it's so funny to watch back.
It is wildly entertaining. And you know, we got some funny people that work at this place, and it has been enjoyable kind of seeing like what different strategies people have, and some people kind of like are along for the ride. It feels, and then some are making moves and some questionable actions, and Francis has really been cracking me up.
Francis's confessionals have been...
Francis has really been cracking me up. I felt like the girl has been crushing. I mean, Kelly, you guys, you crushed your challenge. You put that puzzle together, nailed it. Kelly was doing that slingshot thing.
Yeah,
she nailed that.
Kelly crushed that slingshot.
And so the challenges are so fun to watch too. I've been laughing at like, it's just, you know, Dave really, and you know, nothing but kind words for the boss man, but for the physical aspect of the game, he is useless. It's pretty funny. Like
it's very funny.
You know,
it's very funny to watch.
Like the last challenge, he was just like, all right.
Yeah, no, it's very funny to watch. I mean, the crazy part is like, you know, those 3 episodes that are out were filmed in the span of, I want to say 2 days or whatever it was. The amount of cameras that are following everybody around all hours of the day from 8 a.m. till 10 p.m. And then it just gets cut into like these episodes is insane because like they are filming. Yeah. They have cameras on you 24/7. So it's insane. Like it's weird to get a little taste of like an actual reality show because they really like production, like really, it was really done like a real deal reality show. They had people working on it that have worked on other reality shows. So to see what they've done in those first 3 episodes with how much was filmed in that amount of time is just crazy to see.
Do you want to give any background or like little inside baseball on some of the stuff within your tribe? Because like you said, so much is filmed, and I feel like we went in watching and like right away it seemed like you and Dave had a strong alliance, and it just felt like you just both said it, and there was no like, where did this come from? Like right away, like in these episodes, Dave's like, no, I'm like Rico and Rhea, like that's who like I've got. And I feel like no context scenarios, like people maybe wouldn't assume that would be the that would be the strong alliance being made.
I don't know. We kind of just like clicked within. We were on the same tribe. Yeah, and we kind of just started working together right away. Yeah, like there wasn't necessarily like a conversation that was had that was like, all right, where we are now an alliance and we are gonna do this. It was like, we just started working together right away. And then from there, like he said it in the show, he was like, me, Rico, and Rhea like have a pretty tight 3 going on. And we kind of, the 3 of us kind of talked and we were like, yeah, we can kind of like, we felt like, well, we can kind of run this tribe if the 3 of us like stick together right now. So that's what you guys saw in the first 3 episodes. But yeah, I mean, we sent Caleb home and... It just
Caleb had some
choice words for me.
Words for you at the end there.
And that's okay. Like it is what it is. I mean, we're playing a game for $250,000 and like being around And I love Caleb.
You could tell he wasn't taking it seriously. And like, you could just tell watching. Like,
and I love Caleb. Yeah. But it just felt like he wasn't taking it seriously or had no idea how to play the game. And I think they showed Dave saying that, being like, I don't know if he's the best player or the worst player. And turns out he was the worst player. It just felt like he didn't want to be there as much as everybody else. And at that point, you're like, okay, that's an easy person to send home then. Like, if someone doesn't really show that they want to be there, then whatever. Yeah. And then we sent home Arian Foster. And I had people writing to me like, oh my God, like, why are you so mad that Arian's a good guy? Listen,
I will say it was funny though, because you did like the way they cut it was like, I'm sure there were other discussions about it, but they just played you kind of saying the same thing like multiple times.
And I did.
But it just, and you know what I'm saying? Like, just made it feel like you were like really felt strongly about that one aspect.
And listen, I did, but I guess they didn't really show the reasoning as to why. I felt like he couldn't be trusted because if you tell him something, he feels the need to tell everybody every honest thought and like everything he's actually hearing. And like, you can't trust somebody if they're going to tell every other person what you're doing all the time. So I was like, well, we got to get him out of here.
Well, he's just too much of an open book.
Like, yeah, right. It's like, well, we got to get him out of here. He's talking to the other tribes. He keeps saying like he can't lie, and like, okay, well, that's good for like if he's talking to you, but what if he's talking to other people about what you're doing? Right. Then people know what you're up to.
And it felt like there were some side conversations even between like other tribes that raised some eyebrows of like, you know, the football guys and like that's the
right. Well,
you know.
When you see him talking to Will Compton, you're like, okay, well, he's got alliances on other tribes. If you know, who's to say what's to happen? We got to get him out of here. So it is funny to watch back to see what gets put in and what doesn't. Like, everything starts flooding back of like what you were running around saying. Like, there's a clip of Roan.
Yeah, that was
which was so fucking funny. Where he's like, we can make these girls do whatever the fuck we want. And then it's him in a confessional being like, I said that. Yeah. And they're like, yeah, you said that. And he's like, there's no way I said that. Like, that just they're filming 24/7. So like, you start forgetting the things that you may have said. So watching myself back in those 3 episodes, I'm like, damn, I really did kept saying that Arian was too good of a guy. Which it's funny to see. I'm excited to watch the episodes this week because I think, and they talked about it on the Unnamed show a bit, Kirk, Dave, and Ryan Whitney. The first 3 episodes like hasn't even begun. Yeah, like
totally. You know who I and this is like, and this is solely based on my opinion from the first 3 episodes because you guys all lived it, so we're here, and I was on my honeymoon at the time, so I like people. You know, you hear things, and everyone's like, it's such a important thing for nobody to spoil the show and everything. So it's like I preferred really not knowing a lot of the stuff that was going on because I'm like, I want to watch. Like, I want to see what's going on. And based off just the first 3 episodes, it's like, it's so interesting to see the different alliances and kind of what's going on. And the Jerry elimination shocked me.
I know. I was going to say, you don't really know
the Jerry elimination
a lot
shocked
that
me.
happened.
When they all flipped to Jerry, I was like, oh my God.
you texted me and you were like, Jerry? And I was like, oh my God, I didn't tell you.
Oh my God, I couldn't believe it. And that was just so interesting to me too, because I'm like, there's certain, when that early on, when you're playing that kind of game, like some of the moves Big Cat's been making, I was like, ooh, this is interesting. Like, this is kind of early for him to be like saying he's writing names, then he's flipping, he's not, like he wrote somebody else, because you can see, obviously you see they make you reveal who everybody's voted for, and it's like, oh, I'm like, he's telling Biz different things, and he's telling Whitney different things, and he's telling Will, and I'm like, ooh, this is gonna get messy, and the Jerry, literally, I really did text you. I was like, oh my God, I didn't see that one coming. They got Jerry.
And I was like, wait, I'm so glad I didn't tell you, because you're texting me right now and you're like genuine shock. And I mean,
just like every other viewer, I was like, oh, this is the end for Gilly. I was like, this is the end for Gilly. He can't make it out of this. Yeah. And then it just flipped. I was like, oh my God. So no, it has, just from a viewer standpoint, I'd say like jump on it, guys. It is so good. If you're not watching it, A+.
Yeah, I mean A+, but let me tell you, like, this, it is insane. Yeah. It truly is insane. And I don't even think the first 3 episodes even touch like
no
what happens.
They're set up episodes,
right? They're setting up the game. You got to introduce people. Totally. There's a lot of people that are coming in that are viewing this that don't even know half the people or any of the people that work at Barstool. Totally. But it's a lot of fun, like being a part of something like this. Like I think we all. Like everybody on the cast, everyone's been texting each other, just talking about it, and watching some of the episodes too with people is fun. So I would say hop aboard, because, you know, even if you've just only been watching Chicks in the Office and you don't know other Barstool stuff, it's worth it to watch for all the other people at Barstool, because everybody is so funny and entertaining. So, you know, if you're not watching, you know, if you don't know and you're like, oh, I only know Rhea, well, you should watch for the other people, because they're fantastic. Yeah. And by the way, I've had people tweet at me and message me, and they're like, did you change? Tommy John, shout out to Tommy John. They gave multiple pairs of the same items. Yeah. So in those first 3 episodes, they're like, did you change it all? And I'm like, well, I had multiple pairs.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that is kind of par for the course for a lot of reality shows too, you know? Like you're... Not necessarily that you have like a uniform, but kind of. I
can see people watching being like, yeah. Other people have changed their clothes.
Right.
She didn't?
Right. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah. You're like, no, I showered, but believe me.
So yeah, the next 3 episodes are Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday this week. There'll be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday next week. There'll be a 2-week break, and then it'll be back. But yeah, I feel like there's not a lot of reality TV. Well, Love Island Australia we're watching. Yeah. There's not a ton of reality TV on right now. So if you're missing that, the challenge and everything. Now I'm naming all the shows that are on.
Right.
I'm just trying to hype up our company, because seriously, like the production people that work here have done such an incredible job.
It's a really great it's a great product.
Seeing it come together, like, just have to give major props to everybody who worked on that show, because I cannot imagine it being easy to cut together hour episodes with all the footage they have. So yeah, go ahead and watch. Go watch on all platforms, and I'll give it an A+.
Hell yeah.
Love Island Australia, all caught up on the Hulu episodes.
Yeah. We can do we'll talk about it. So another one. Spoiler, if you're not caught up, do not listen to this. We're going to be talking about their Casa Amor twist. So that's your warning. If you haven't watched those episodes yet, don't listen to this. Okay. They switched up Casa Amor, and they did something called Hotel Amor. Mm-hmm. And basically they let the fans vote who they thought within the house should spend a night with another person and like see. So it's like, if you're watching at home and you're like, oh my God, I feel like Sophie and Zayn like really didn't get a chance. Like I really think that they should be together, blah, blah, blah. It was like they voted, and then they got sent into Hotel Amor for a night. When they came back, they had decided they wanted to stay in their original couple or twist. And it was pretty wild, I will say. And some moves were made, and someone was brought back, which was crazy. And I just have to say, like, specifically, I mean, we don't have to like go into too many of the details of like what was going down, but Zayn, it's time for Zayn to go home. Zayn doesn't want to be on Love Island Australia. Zayn wants to hang with his bros and chill by the pool all day. And he's got no interest in any of these girls. And I was blown away. That was like the biggest. And I understand. I went back and forth, because then when he was saying afterwards, he's like, oh, I really didn't want to do that to Kayla without talking to her first. I'm like, okay, well, that's kind of nice. But at the same time, you doing that for Kayla was a slap in the face to Sophie. Mm-hmm. So him not twisting at that recoupling was so wild to me. And then just being like, well, he just at the end of the day didn't like either of them.
Yeah, and it seemed like Sophie like got no warning. You know, like if Zayn would have told, hey, I can't twist because I have to tell Kayla first.
Right.
Different, but it seemed like she got no warning whatsoever.
Well, he was saying that he wanted to be with her.
Yeah, I don't like him at all. I don't like Taylor at all.
No, I don't like Taylor at all.
Like, I really, really dislike these guys.
Honestly,
think
Taylor and Hannah, I think Taylor and Hannah are a perfect couple for each other because they are both insufferable.
Yeah, it's a tough go for these guys. I mean, Zayn and Taylor really, really dislike them. I don't like agree with any of the moves that they make, truly.
I know. I feel like I resonate with Mimi. I love Mimi. And before Hannah even went home and she was doing the like shower flirty, like rubbing Taylor and like Mimi and Steph are off to the side being like, oh, like I can't watch this. I'm like, that's me. I'm like, I can't watch this either. It's just Hannah. It's the same kind of thing, and it's so fine. Like, all these girls aren't gonna get along, and for them, like, when they were kind of having, like, an argument of, like, you know, we wouldn't really be friends on the outside. And, like, that's, like, I'm like, me and Hannah probably wouldn't be friends on the outside.
No, I think...
Mimi's right. She is a chameleon.
Yeah, Mimi is so cool. Just, like,
so cool.
Her whole vibe in general.
Yeah.
I think she's sick. So I've been enjoying the girls on this season way more than I've been enjoying watching these guys because... they are just, I'm like, why are you on this show? Like, you don't seem like you like anybody at all. But
Taylor really just like, Taylor like really tried to play off the whole good guy thing for like so long. And then that weird shit with bringing up what Chrissy was saying about Steph, like, and telling everybody else before he actually talked to Steph. I'm like, if you're actually a good guy, you go straight to Steph and talk to him about it. I don't like drama. He makes the most drama.
Or go to Mimi alone.
Yeah.
Like, if you actually really felt bad for Mimi, you would take her aside alone and not tell everybody before you tell either of them.
Yep.
But I'll give Love Island Australia a solid A because it is very
good.
Very entertaining, and I can't wait for movie night because I saw some clips on Twitter of them doing movie night, and I'm like, woo, we got to get that shit on YouTube.
Yeah, that's
on
good.
Hulu because that is going to be juicy. So I'll give that an A. I watched the first 3 episodes of Sex Lives of College Girls. Unfortunately, I'm bored by this season.
That's fair. I only watched the first 2.
I'll give it like a C+.
Yeah.
I'm like bored by it. I don't know. It's not really hitting as hard for me. I watched the first episode of Man on the Inside, the show with Ted Danson. I like Ted Danson. I'll give this also C+. I don't know if I'll continue it.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't really obsessed with it. And yeah. That's what I watched. I rewatched a bunch of things, so.
Okay, this is my list. I finished Lioness season 1. Really good. Really good. Really liked it. I'm excited to start season 2. I think the season 2 finale like either just aired or is airing. So season 1 I thought was awesome. So I will give that a I'll give that an A- because it is really good. But it's one of those shows that still kind of has like a little bit of fluff mixed in like the middle episodes and stuff where you're like, oh, get to the action, you know, get to the good stuff. But it was really, really good. Love Island Australia, I will give Love Island Australia, like, it is really good, and I'm liking it, but it's like a B+, you know? Mm-hmm. It's like that's Southern Charm, new season came out, episode 1.
Oh, I watched that too.
I will give that a B+ as well. I love Southern Charm, and I love these guys. I mean, the way these 3 carry this show, you know, I just like have really, no offense to I just have no interest in kind of what some of these girls are doing, and they're bringing in new girls this season, besides Madison. I do love Madison. And, like, Shep and Austin and Craig, like sitting down and having to talk about their French is all, like, actually very real stuff, but, also just great at the same time. Like, I just think those guys make great TV. They do.
I'll give it a B.
Yeah.
Because like you said, I find them to be the most interesting part of it.
Yeah, totally. The challenge, I'm up to date. Challenge has been great. I'll give it a B. It's good. When you get to the end of the season of the challenge where it's just like the last couple episodes, you're just kind of like, all right, when's the final? Like, come on, sort of like there's a little bit where it just drags a little bit towards like these like last few episodes where it is certainly entertaining. But they're so close to the final. It's like, let's get to the final. So I am very excited for this final. I think it's going to be good. Salt Lake City, Real Housewives, I think has been great. I'll give that a B+. I think that I've said it all season, but their drama has always been entertaining. And this last, I think I'm up to date. I don't know if I missed the last, I'm pretty sure I'm up to date. But there is a conversation that Mary has with her son that is actually like really strong and really important, and he went through a lot and kind of opens up about some drug abuse and his mental health and how he's been feeling, and just like their emotional. It was something that we haven't seen them really touch on, especially on this show. And for Mary to share that as part of her family, I thought that was just honestly just like a very powerful moment, because Mary is just kind of either she's kept more of her stuff private, or it's like her drama is just kind of her like fighting with the other girls. And this was just like a very real, honest moment. Real Housewives of New York, I've had on his like background. I like couldn't even really tell you that much of what's going on. They've the first like 4 episodes, they're just having the same fight over and over and over again. It's the same argument, and they like say that they're fine, and they just keep arguing about it again, and like people are harboring this resentment for each other. Give it a C-. Shrinking, I watched episode 8, which I thought was, I love Shrinking. I think Shrinking is great. I'll give that an A. I don't have too much commentary on it. I think it's just a really great show. Sex Lives episodes 1 and 2, I'll give a C. It's fine. Mm-hmm. Like I like it, and it has its funny moments, but there's something
missing.
It's like the initial zip from like that first season, Yeah. It's hard to keep that going for so many seasons, And then the last thing I watched a movie last night, Christmas movie.
What about Blink Twice?
Oh, I watched Blink Twice. I forgot. I didn't write it down because I watched it on the airplane. I watched Blink Twice on the airplane. I thought it was great. I really thought that the performances were fantastic. I thought Channing was great. Mm-hmm. He was like really freaky and dark. I thought it was really good. I'll give it a B. Like it was, at first I was kind of like, where is this going? And then once I understood what was happening, then it was like, okay. And then it was I liked the ending a lot. Mm-hmm. Cause sometimes like I was worried they were kind of leave it on more of like a open-ended ending. And I liked the way that they ended it. So I enjoyed that. And then I watched this Christmas movie that I had never heard of, but we were browsing Christmas movies last night. It came out in 2004. It's called Noel. Mm-hmm. It has an insane cast. Penelope Cruz, Paul Walker, Susan Sarandon,
wow,
Robin Williams.
Oh my gosh.
The movie, Alan Arkin. The movie was maybe one of the worst movies I've ever watched in my life. Like, the movie, it just made no sense. It was trying to like connect all of their different relationships, but there was also a little bit like of a paranormal like faith aspect to it. Like Robin Williams isn't listed on the cast because he's like playing an angel sort of, but he's like, I don't know. It was supposed to be uplifting, but was also kind of depressing at the same time. Paul Walker and Penelope Cruz played this couple, and Paul Walker is a cop, and he has like a bad jealousy problem, and they like have to get through his jealousy issues. because obviously he's just with Penelope Cruz and she's just a stunning woman. And then Alan Arkin plays this old man who, like, every Christmas he finds somebody that he thinks is his wife reincarnated. And so he thinks Paul Walker is his wife reincarnated.
Oh my God, what?
It's Rhea, the movie. And then there was just this side man. And I don't know what, like, the way this man's storyline was so irrelevant to the movie. And it was just sad. Like, he wanted to go back to the hospital. He was living a solo life. He wanted to go back to the hospital and be there for, like, the hospital Christmas party, because his best Christmas that he could remember is when he broke his hand when he was 14. He got to go to and he was in the hospital, and it was like the best Christmas because he had a rough family life, and this was the best Christmas. Now he's a grown man, and he's going to the hospital. He's like, I'm here for the Christmas party. And they're like, there's no Christmas party. And then he goes and he, like, gets his hand broken. He goes and he has his hand broken so he can go to the ER and actually have a broken hand. But then the ER is, like, chaotic, and they're like, oh, so sorry, like, probably not gonna do the Christmas party. One of the nurses is Billy Porter.
What?
It's crazy.
Damn.
It's crazy. And then his story just ends. And then it ends, and he, like, is like, he goes to the a psychologist, I think, and the psychologist is like, maybe you need to connect with your family. Maybe it's time to, like, give your mom a call. And then he just, like, calls his mom. That was it. And I was like, what was the point of his storyline? It was just really like a F- movie.
Wow.
And it had a 28% on Rotten Tomatoes, where I was like, 28 is bad, but I could like a 28% movie.
For sure.
Oh my God, it was just really so bad.
Usually
so
when
bad.
I see a movie with a stacked cast like this and I've never heard of it, I assume it's going to be atrocious.
Oh,
I'm
right.
I'm like, you would hear, if this movie was really good with this cast,
No, exactly.
you would hear about it.
I'm like, a Christmas movie from 2004, it's got Robin Williams in it? No, it was
F-.
Oh my
Is that
God.
the first F- you've ever given out?
I think so.
It deserves it. You actually almost sold me on watching it tonight.
No, I actually implore you to watch it, because it's really a bizarre movie.
Yeah, I feel like I might have to put this on.
Yeah. Just like, even just the editing of it is weird. It's like,
how bad it is like, a must watch.
Yeah. Like, it actually almost
Wow.
is. It was shocking to me. And that is everything. And that is everything I watched. Sadly, no Noah today. So that's it. We don't get to hear what Noah watched.
Sarah, did you watch anything good?
I just rewatched Summer House season 1, and I'm like, wow.
Wow.
Kyle and Amanda,
Honestly, that's a great rewatch.
That is. And Summer House season 1, like, there are some characters on there that are long gone, you know?
Right.
You're just...
I know, it's funny. I'm like, oh, what happened to them? They must have not have been
Yeah, they
not as entertaining.
To be honest, I never even watched 1 and 2. I started at 3.
Mm-hmm. What would you grade it?
Ooh, I think a B.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's solid.
Have you watched the other seasons?
Only from like 3 on. So
Okay.
I think I watched a few of 1. So now I'm like, wow, I'm really getting like the entire story, because Carl is always talking about how he's like a good guy, or he used to be a bad guy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I never thought he would be like that. And now I'm seeing him and like Lauren.
Oh, yeah. Season early on, Carl was...
Yeah, that's kind of
bad
like
news.
inspiring me to rewatch those beginning seasons. That's a good rewatch.
That is. That totally is.
Noah will have to fill us in when he gets back, and hopefully he's feeling better. We'll check in.
Yep.
We'll check in with him now. And that wraps up today's episode.